Easy with you, family. This is Nicole Nixon. My friends call me Coley. I am the MomInShaman from beautiful Fulton, North Carolina. I am in Hazel Green, Alabama. My twin sister, her husband, and my older sister took me in after I was kicked out in Georgia by someone that offered to help me build my coaching business, and now I'm restarting. And one of the things that I was thinking about today is how much I miss my godchildren. And I decided I would read this story and post it to YouTube in the hopes that they would see it and know that I love them, know that I miss them very much. You are amazing, and I want you to learn. Learn from what I shared with you. Learn everything you can. Be as smart and wonderful as I know you are, because God loves you. God sent you to me to love on for as long as I could. And now that I can, know that I love you still. I never stop loving you, and I will never stop loving you. So if you ever need me or want me, send me a message. I'm always here for you. I'm going to start reading the 7 Habits of Happy Kids by Sean Covey, illustrated by Stacy Curtis. This book has been through a few things, been nibbled on by a dog, but the words are still very interesting. And this is about 7 oaks. And I thought that was really cool. 7 oaks. Now that 7, we create heaven or hell by our choices. So it has the 7 Oaks Dump, Tootie's Toy Store, To the Narrows, The Dollar Movie, 7 Oaks Village, Mountainville Elementary, Sammy and Sophie's Home. Then there's Uncle Bud's Park, Pokey's Home, Jumper's Hole, Lone Peak, Stewart Falls, Goop's Cave. There's Ernie's Crossing, Lily's Tree, The Meadow, Lily's Burrow, Tagalong Alley's Burrow, Mrs. Hoot's Garden, and Willow Wood. So, look at that there. Alright, so I hope you can see that. I'll try to make sure to hold it up so you can see it. So, there. There's a personal note to parents and teachers. I'm just going to get right into the stories. Bored, bored, bored. Sammy Squirrel was bored, bored, bored. Mom, he said, I'm bored. There's nothing to do. How about all those gadgets you collect? Said Mom. Broken toys, radios, cell phones. You have to tinker around with them. I don't feel like it today, said Sammy. Maybe Sophie can think up something fun for me to do. Sammy knocked on Sophie's door. Knock, knock, knock. There was no answer. Sophie's gone to the library, said Mom. She's returning all those books she checked out last week, and she'll probably bring 100 more back to read. At least she's not bored, said Sammy. Well, you don't have to be bored either, said Mom. Why don't you see if Pokey can play? So off Sammy went to Pokey's house. Pokey was laying on his hammock. Hiya, Pokey. What you doing? What does it look like? Said Pokey. I'm lying on my hammock. I'm bored, said Sammy. Can you think of something fun for me to do? Sure, said Pokey. Try lying in my hammock. Ugh, said Sammy. That sounds even more boring. I don't think it is, said Pokey. But if you do, why don't you see what Lily's doing? So off Sammy went to Lily's house. Lily was in her playroom, painting a picture. Hi, Lily, said Sammy. I'm bored. Can you think of something fun for me to do? You bet, said Lily. You can help me paint Dottie Doll, and then we can make frames out of red paper, or maybe you could paint my tail. Oh, said Sammy, I don't feel like painting. Can't you think of something else fun to do? Nope, said Lily. I like painting. Why don't you see what Goob's up to? So off Sammy went to Goob's house. Goob had his magnifying glass out and was looking at something in the grass. "Hey, Goob," said Sammy. "What you doing?" "Ants," said Goob. "I'm looking at ants." Goob pulled Sammy down next to him. He shoved the magnifying glass into his paws. "Lean down and you'll see hundreds of them. They're so cool." Sammy looked through the glass. "Yikes," he said. "I don't want to look at ants. They're creepy. Can't you think of something else that's fun for me to do?" Here's Goob looking at the ants. "Can't," said Goob. "I'm into ants right now. Why don't you see what Jumper's up to?" So off Sammy went to Jumper's house. Jumper was shooting baskets in the driveway. He dribbled the ball over to Sammy. "Want to get in the game?" he asked. "No," said Sammy. "I don't feel like playing basketball. Can't you think of something fun for me to do?" "Watch this," said Jumper. "I'm the rabbit." He jumped up and stuffed the ball into the basket. A slam dunk. Sammy sighed. Nobody seemed to have any fun ideas. Maybe he could play with Tag-Along Allie. So off he went to her house. Allie's granny was painting the front porch. "Hi, Granny," said Sammy. "Where's Tag-Along Allie?" "She's in bed with a sore throat," said Granny. "Bummer," said Sammy, and paused. "I'm bored. Do you want to play?" Allie's granny laughed. "Can't, Sammy Squirrel. I'm busy." "No one will help me have fun," complained Sammy. "I'm so bored." "Well, isn't that your fault?" asked Granny. "You're in charge of having fun, not somebody else." "What do you mean?" asked Sammy. "I mean, you can make your own fun. You don't need others to make it happen. Just look around and think about it. You'll find something fun to do." Sammy looked around. He saw clouds. He saw trees. He saw 3 garbage cans lined up against the house. One had an old radio on top with wires sticking out in all directions. There they are. And then here's Granny talking. Suddenly, Sammy's brain lit up like a flashlight. "Do you want that radio anymore?" he asked Allie's granny. "No," she said. "It's broken. That's why I threw it away." "Can I have it?" asked Sammy. "I love radios." "Why, sure," said Allie's granny. Sammy picked up the radio, carried it home, and set it down on the floor of his room. Then he got started. It took him a few hours to get the radio to work again, but by lunchtime it was fixed. He tied some ribbons around it and pasted stars all over. Then he carried the radio back to Tag-Along Allie's house. See, there's him getting his great idea, and here's him working on it. What a mess! Like, everything's everywhere, but he looks determined to get that radio working. "What do we have here?" asked Allie's granny. "A get-well present for Allie," said Sammy. "I fixed it so she can listen to the radio while she's getting over her sore throat. I'm not bored anymore. I finally figured out how to make my own fun." "Great," said Allie's granny. "Let's go inside and show Allie." When Allie saw the radio, she broke into a smile as wide as a slice of cantaloupe. "I love the ribbons," she said. Oh, no. The end. So this book is really cool because it has some discussion steps. Let's see. So I'll read the parents' corner as well for any parents that might be watching. Let's see. "I can't count how many times my kids have whined, 'Dad, we're so bored. There's nothing to do,' as if their boredom was somehow my fault. I'll respond with something like, "So what are you going to do about it?" This usually keeps them out of my hair, at least for a little while. My point is, it's vital to teach kids to take responsibility for their own lives, for their own fun or boredom, for their own happiness or unhappiness. This is habit one. Be proactive. In other words, take charge of your own life and stop playing the victim. In this story, you may want to point out to the kids how Sammy tries to blame everyone else, his mom, his friends, life in general, for his boredom. He wants someone to fix his problem and to help him have fun. After talking with Allie's granny, he finally figures out that he's in charge of making his own fun, and he makes it happen. Up for discussion. Question number 1. Why was Sammy bored? He wanted to do something, but he couldn't figure out what he wanted to do. That's my answer. What do you think? Okay. Question number 2. Whose fault was it that Sammy was bored? Was it Sophie's fault? Pokey's? Lily's? Goob's? Jumper's? Granny's? Or anybody else's? So that could be looked at in a couple of ways. MomInShaman thinks that on one hand, it's nobody's fault that he was bored, because it was his decision to decide that he was bored. So if he wanted to choose something else, I give Granny the credit as the MVP for talking to him about the fact that he is in charge of his boredom. It's good to listen to your elders, because they can point you in the right direction. Sometimes they point you in the wrong direction. But when you listen for the lesson, you can decide. So Granny pointed out to him, hey, look, you're in charge of your own happiness. Look around and find something you can do. And he did. He just happened to be at a place there was a broken radio, and he could fix that because Sammy's handy like that. Question number 3. What did Allie's granny teach Sammy about having fun? He taught him that it was a choice to have fun. Question number 4. Wait, what do you think about number 3? Okay. Number 4. Do you ever feel bored? If so, what can you do about it? Do you ever feel bored? What do you do when you feel bored? Do you read? Do you draw? Do you sing? Do you dance? Do you jump on your brother or sister's head? You go outside and look at the clouds? What do you do when you feel bored? Okay. So, what are some other things you can do when you feel bored? You can try one of my suggestions. Number 5. Who is in charge of the choices you make? You or somebody else? Who is in charge of the choices that you make? Sometimes you have to deal with the consequences of a choice that somebody else makes, but you still have to choose how you choose. Alright, so time for baby steps. First, the next time you feel bored, do something nice for someone else, like Sammy did for Allie. That would be nice. Number 2, try doing something today that you've always been scared to do. Make a new friend, raise your hand in class, or clean the toilet. It's really nice to be helpful around the house. Your mom and dad work hard to provide for you, even if you don't live with your mom or your dad. They're people that care for you. work to care for you and to provide for you what you have available to you. So do your best to be helpful and help them take care of the things that they give you. Okay? 3. The next time you get mad and want to say something mean or rude, bite your tongue instead and don't say it. So if you hear something that you feel is mean, forgive it. If you say something that you feel was mean, you can apologize, please, or ask for forgiveness. I don't like apologies. I like forgiveness. But I don't think anybody's really sorry. You do what you do when you do it, and in the moment that's what you meant to do. So if the outcome was not in line with your intention, then you can acknowledge that. Please forgive me for upsetting you. I feel as though I upset you in what I said. That wasn't my intention. I was telling my truth. I was telling you what I was thinking. That way, and listen to what they say. If they're upset, you have to accept it and give them time to calm down. 4. If you do something wrong, ask for forgiveness before someone else asks you to apologize. So if you see in the reaction of the person that you're talking to that they're upset, or you feel that you may have wronged them in some way, it's good to acknowledge that with words or actions. But whatever happens as a result of that, know that you're forgiven by God. God loves you and God forgives you. Forgive yourself and accept that, okay? So that is the end of the first story, Bored, and the 7 habits of happy kids. Thank you so much. I hope you enjoyed it. I'll have another one coming soon. I love you. Give yourself a big hug for me. I miss you. Know that I think about you even when I'm not able to talk to you, okay? Know that even if you can't talk to me, I still love you unconditionally. I'll talk to you soon. Well, what's the next video? Like, share, subscribe. Alright.